Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. We begin with this. The storm watch for Barbados has been discontinued, but based on the forecast, the island is still expected to feel some effect. We'll find out if that still holds as Selma Green joins us now live with a weather report. Selma?
Thanks, Lisa. Lisa, good night to everyone. And yes, Tropical Storm Dawn did pass south of us around 2 this afternoon, about 90 miles to the south of us. And as that system passed, it generated gusty winds here in Barbados between 25 and 35 miles per hour. And we did get some showers to the north, but that system right now is to the east of us, and it's now affecting Grenada and the Grenadines. They got the majority of the showers today, as well as Trinidad and Tobago. We could get continue to get some showers tonight, but that system is weakening. We don't expect to get any significant showers, and by tomorrow conditions will be much improved across Barbados. We expect high pressure to be building across the area then, and we should be pretty much back to fair weather conditions. As I said, a lot of the showers associated with it has dissipated. It could continue to generate some showers over the southern portion of the region, and we expect that by tomorrow that system will totally dissipate and will no longer be a storm. But of course, you could look out for further details as we take a more in-depth look at the weather news later on.
Thanks very much, Selma. Well, as Barbados continues to develop its offshore petroleum sector, it is ensuring that it does so in a sustainable and safe way. That's the word from Prime Minister Fundell Stewart. Speaking during debate in the House of Assembly, Prime Minister Stewart said government wants to make amendments to the Offshore Petroleum Act. The change would extend the period for companies to provide an environmental impact assessment from 90 days to 9 months.
Companies licensed to do business offshore produce to the authority here in Barbados, the designated authority, plans to protect the environment and environmental plan, and also to do a credible environmental impact assessment.
Despite this latest amendment and announcement that contracts have been awarded to international drilling companies, no substantial work has been done on Barbados's energy sector. This contention from the Barbados Labour Party's St. George South MP, Dwight Sutherland, who has also accused government of major inertia in the sector. Mr. Sutherland says the opposition has no problem with the amendment, but its timing does little to advance Barbados's hunt for fossil fuels offshore. He adds that it will be at least another 3 years before offshore exploration can be done.
These are issues that require everyday attention. These are issues that are supposed to drive growth. These are issues that are supposed to save us foreign exchange in this country. These are critical issues.
Barbados has taken its responsibility to move to a green economy very seriously, and it is also aware of the catastrophic consequences an accident caused by offshore drilling and other types of exploration could have. That's the main reason, according to Environment Minister Dr. Dennis Lowe, that government has been so meticulous to put the legislative and other bits of framework in place to ensure that the necessary guidelines are met. He was responding to charges from opposition MP Dwight Sutherland that government is moving too slowly to get started on offshore drilling. Dr. Lowe says Barbados has clearly defined its plan to diversify its energy mix and eventually use more renewable energy.
We will not be titillated by the economic returns and cause any sabotage or any degradation of our environmental space. The Right Honourable Prime Minister noted in his presentation that Barbados has limited natural resources and that the carrying capacity of the country sometimes outweigh the availability of natural resources. So there must be that balance in consumption of natural resources, identification and production of natural resources. And the Division of Energy is doing a yeoman's job in ensuring that those resources are known, that they are measured, that they are managed, and that they are protected.
Opposition St. Michael Southeast MP Santia Bradshaw believes government should explain the benefits of the offshore sector. She says its significance needs to be broken down that the average Barbadian can understand.
It is okay to say that legislation has been passed. It is okay to say that the Barbados Labour Party did this and the Democratic Labour Party did that. But I think people really want to have a sense of what does offshore drilling really mean to them. For my warm part, sir, my understanding, and certainly what I would like to hear from members on the other side, is where are we going in terms of the financial returns from the offshore drilling sector? That is really the buzzword for, I think, most Barbadians. Where are we and what are going to be the returns?
In other news now, a St. Michael community is tonight in a state of shock at the loss of a veteran educator, taken from them in a bizarre incident at an automated teller machine. Kareem Smith tells us more.
It was just outside of this Royal Bank of Canada here on University Drive. 58-year-old Colleen Payne had just exited a taxi to make a transaction at the ATM machine. But in a very strange turn of events, she was attacked, robbed, and gunned down.
I was watching television when I heard these two loud explosions, like gunshots. And when I look outside, I saw a lady down on the ground.
This is the chilling testimony from a nearby resident describing the series of events that led to the shooting death of Colleen Payne, an incident that has rocked the communities of Black Rock, Freehill and Lodge Hill in St. Michael. At Lodge Hill, her husband, who asked that his name not be mentioned, was visited by a number of friends and work colleagues from the Nightingale Children's Home where she worked. At her sister's house in Danesbury, Black Rock, St. Michael, a number of family members gathered to console each other. Among them, her daughter Shaquilia and sister Ella Noel. Noting that the two were very close, her sister described her as an extremely active member of the community who was quiet but unassuming.
Don't think because she's a bit quiet that you can get over her. She's carry a very stern face sometimes, but that stern face means nothing. You have to get to know her. Don't judge her by her face. You have to get to know her. And when you get to know her, you know that there is lots of personality there.
She says just recently there was a break-in at her home and was worried when she heard something had gone wrong.
Maybe 10-15 minutes after I got home, there was a knock on the door. I thought it was my husband's brother, but then the person said it's the police, and he asked if I know Colleen Payne. And from the time he said that, I just, as my daughter would say, I lost it. I was up in his face. Tell me where are my sister. Tell me where are my sister.
The news shook her. But what made her even more upset about the situation was the fact that her sister had been warned on numerous occasions to stay clear of ATM machines at night. A piece of advice that may just have saved her life. Aside from her family, we understand that she was an outstanding member of the Black Rock Seventh-day Adventist Church, and members are heartbroken. There, she served on the church board in the capacity of Pathfinder Director and Children's Ministries Leader. Pastor Dale Haynes came to the church and described Colleen as a vibrant and long-standing member.
Colleen was also a mentor to many of persons here at Black Rock and even in the community. We lost a marvelous and a wonderful member.
In fact, she had cleaned these mattresses in preparation for a Pathfinder camp starting on Thursday and continuing for the duration of the weekend. Police are working around the clock to find leads that could help them solve the case. In the meantime, family, co-workers and church members are struggling to find a way forward after the loss of a person who simply cannot be replaced. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Thanks, Kareem. We'll take a break here and be back with more news.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
Look, turn on the mic, man. I got something to say. I wanted to know that the Scotiabank Junior Monarch Final, in association with LGM Stage Lighting, is on Saturday, July 22nd at the Kensington Oval 3Ws Amphitheatre from 7 p.m. Last year was enough action, and I know this year give me more fair. Who does do more social commentary than we youngsters? Not a boy. We always snapping and posting. So now it's time to put down the social media and hear the future of Calypso commentate on what's going on in we society, live and direct. Anyways, I got going on, but I can be looking for you on Saturday, July 22nd at the Kensington Oval 3Ws Amphitheatre for the Scotiabank Junior Monarch Final in association with LGM Stage Lighting at 7 p.m. Adults $30. Available at the NCF, www.ticketpal.com and all Compover box offices.
So, in an effort to test the credibility of this so-called speed squad, we have some random questions for you to answer. How quickly can you change clothes? The bag of groceries on the table. How fast can you guys prepare a meal? And go! All right. Which network gives you the speed you prefer and enjoy?
Join the fastest team and shift your Flow Fiber broadband into high gear by upgrading now at no extra cost for 3 months. Plus, enjoy the best of Flow TV for free.
Last question. Who's the fastest?
I had to ask. Upgrade now.
Businesses in the public and private sector are being informed about issues concerning employees with HIV and AIDS. The charge is being led by behavioral change and communication specialist for the HIV and AIDS Commission, Cecilia Murray. Speaking on Morning Barbados, Ms. Murray said the Commission has been focusing on creating policies to accommodate employees with HIV.
We recognize that we have to start with policy. And if we don't start with policy, we can get into a whole heap of problems further down in our workspace. We need to start from things like our clauses. We need to start from things within the development of our strategic plans. With respect to gender equality, we need to make sure that with respect to these issues, we are focusing on gender because we have differences with respect to gender. We need to focus also on the health and work environment.
She says the existence of policies will also inform businesses on how to respond to certain situations.
You recognize that if you are HIV positive and you have an assignment, sometimes it's a requirement to have an HIV test done with respect to our travel. So you may have a person shying away from that. Would that person then be victimized or discriminated against because of the situation? So we need to have preventative programs in place so that when we come upon things like these, that we will be able to strategically plan for these things so that they will be reduced in our workspace.
Deputy Representative with UN Women Caribbean Multi-Country Office, Tony Broadber, says domestic violence has become normalized. She says there are some women and men who don't recognize the key characteristics of domestic violence. Ms. Broadber was speaking at the UN Women Preventing Domestic Violence Training Workshop Draft Agenda at UN House.
One can only assume that that is just because people think this is how things are and implicitly how things should be between a couple.
The Ministry of Health should consider setting up a prospectus for all of its institutions. That might be one way, according to Minister John Boyce, of ensuring targeted donations of equipment and other badly needed supplies. His suggestion came as the Barbados International Business Association, or BIBA, handed over a set of equipment to the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic in Warrens recently. Mr. Boyce says the equipment, 2 autoclaves that will be used to sterilize medical devices, were included in a prospectus set up through a partnership with BIBA. And recently, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital has been successfully using that method to secure equipment it needs for daily operation.
We do not expect to develop a program of philanthropy by just guesswork, but it is good when the entity like the Ministry of Health, through their planning team, etc., work with these organizations so that a sensible, proper program of philanthropy is developed that is appropriate to the service that is urgent and that is needed.
Over the last 6 years, BIBA has donated more than $350,000 worth of equipment to the health sector, and last year alone it pledged $168,000 to the facility. Vital sign monitors and equipment for its OB/GYN department are next on the list for the charity arm of the association. President Marlon Walron encouraged people to support BIBA's fundraising efforts.
Earlier this year, the charity hosted an evening with the Masters Art and Wine Cocktail. Thank you to the sponsors of this event and for those who attended as well. However, the main fundraising event for BIBA is our annual charity walk run, which is held in October every year. This particular event is growing. I can say that it has doubled in its participation over the last year, and we are expecting great things this year. So the proceeds from the sale of the T-shirts also go towards the efforts.
Parents have been encouraged to step up when it comes to guiding their children's development. This from Parliamentary Secretary in the Education Ministry, Senator Harcourt Husbands, during a ceremony for winners of the Lawson Weeks Educational Scholarship. We have more in this report.
The Lawson Weeks Educational Scholarship is now in its 10th year and celebrates the achievements of the top performing and most improved students who live in the St. Michael Northwest constituency and attend the Deacons, Eagle Hall and St. Stephen's primary schools. Students who reside in the constituency but attend other schools are also currently eligible. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Harcourt Husbands, congratulated the students for their work. He also encouraged parents to play a greater role in their children's upbringing.
Teachers always talk about these parents who turn up at the school and say, see what I could do with it, because you don't listen to me. You as parents or grandparents or uncles, you have to take charge. And that taking charge just does not mean issuing directives, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Also in attendance was Minister of Finance and MP for the area, Chris Sinclair, who says the scholarship has made a lasting impact on previous winners.
We feel extremely proud after 10 years. We can actually go through the list of students. There are more than 120 that we have honored over that period of time. And we can highlight so many success cases. I mean, almost all of them, if not all of them, have gone on to do wonderful things and continue so to do in their educational careers. But as you have heard, otherwise, in their lives generally, contributing to so many activities, doing so many other things positively beyond just the academics.
Minister Sinclair revealed that the primary schools in the constituency will be undergoing some refurbishment work soon.
We are going to work with the Ministry of Education to ensure this summer that some work is done down there. And of course, we continue to support St. Stephen's. There are some other things that need to be done there, some wetting that happens when it rains because of the way the school was built. But we have to get some work done in those schools. These schools have done well. They have served the community well. They have had to contend with, all types of things. The numbers are huge going into these schools, and the space is not growing, as you know. The space is fixed, but the students are growing.
This year, a total of 15 students were awarded, including Deacons Primary's two top boys, Caden Hoyt and Terry Gibson, and Most Improved Girl, Jalea Gill. Lorna Jones, CBC News.
Well, Barbados has itself another millionaire. That lucky winner is walking away with a whopping $2,500,000. The winning Mega 6 ticket was purchased at Fair Deals, Darrells Road in Christchurch. Attorney at law Anne Reid collected the check at the Barbados Lottery headquarters this morning on the winner's behalf.
The winner is truly delighted and pleased to be the recipient of this check this morning. I believe that the winner, having had extensive consultations with him, is a young person with a good sense of investment, and I am sure that this winning will be put to very good use.
Congratulations to that person. We'll take a look at news from the region in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Bacchanal Time presents the best of Crop Over, Wednesday, August the 2nd and Thursday, August the 3rd. Two big shows at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center, 8 p.m. Featuring Red Plastic Bag, The Boat is Rockin', Nikita, Peter Ram, The Woodman, Skrilla, see that Purple Heart, what type of wood you want? Marsville, Lead Pipe and Satis, Lady Essence, and work on it. Lastman, Soca King, Stiffy, Comedy of Mad, Queen Archer Wilcox, and Rum and Coke, Edwin, Lil Rick, and more. I come here to jump down, short girls and tall girls. Bacchanal Time presents the best of Crop Over, Wednesday, August the 2nd and Thursday, August the 3rd at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center. Do you have your tickets? I want to give it to you.
Be a part of the action, but be apart from the crowd. It's a great way to be there without being there. Watch Soca Royale on pay-per-view via MCTV channel 118 for US $25 or Barbados $51. For MCTV bookings, call 228-6288. CBC, sharing it all on pay-per-view via MCTV. CBC, your link to the festival.
Looking for the best stage of the festival? It's the CBC Festival Stage, where the stars are sure to appear.
Yes, I get a lot of crap. Listen, there are a lot of people that are recording that shouldn't be doing it. They should be sweeping the road, as far as I'm concerned.
So don't get on that because the whole of Barbados set go down, then all of a sudden that go down, it cannot be Bashment Soca, it got to cross over into the main Soca drum. But that sample condemn rhythm from Jamaica, no, but your criteria, that make it Bashment Soca.
I am saying that when you look at the music over the years, it was never given an identity.
Watch Festival Stage Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays live on CBC TV 8 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Festival Stage is repeated on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9:03 p.m. and Fridays at 10:03 p.m.
Authorities in Guyana have recaptured another prisoner, and 4 are still on the run.
James, who escaped during the July 9 prison fire, is back under lock and key. Commander of West Demerara, Leslie James, has confirmed. He was captured Friday night at Cameron Dam, Canal Number 1. He will appear before a city magistrate soon. By Monday morning, police confirmed to Nightly News that they are in search of a woman who is accused of harboring the then fugitive. Residents of Cameron Dam spoke with Nightly News. They confirmed that a woman had been seen taking food for James, who was seen in this shack. So it was a woman who was there taking care of him?
Yeah, well, she did done left already. And she come with a plastic bag. When she gone out, she come with plastic bag and so on. Bring thing for here or something like that. And she left. And after that, we see the boy back. When see them, I see them 3 little boy going on bed, and I see coming out from the house. So when he coming from the house, now he gone in back. When he see them 3 little boy, then being pay attention, my sister, I says them family or somebody.
Cameron Dam is mostly populated by Amerindians, and a source familiar with the investigation has related that the shack in which James hid is owned by a family member. Investigators aren't certain if it was that exact family member who harbored James.
I didn't see him before during the daytime or so.
But the woman was there taking care of him?
Yes, from what I understand, yes. A woman was there looking after him, and the woman brought him into the dam.
When police pounced on James, he indicated that he was heading to Essequibo. He was found with a knife and a few pieces of clothing. Police said he surrendered unhesitantly.
I see when I go in the trench, I see the girl coming with a high car and I buy the at the back sit down and say, me said the girl must be bringing some family. I just go in the water, I didn't check. And long after like 10:30 time, my husband come back and we sit down outside and we see them two posts up. So we said that this boy is strange, but me see face fully because he went far.
James is a prisoner on remand for the 2014 stabbing death of Glendon Cox at 4 Miles Arakaka Village, Northwest District. Police are still hunting Mark Royden Williams, Stefari Alexander, Yuri Varswick, and Kobina Stevens. This is the shack where police captured prison escapee Desmond James. We now know that police want to question a Cameron Dam resident. The lawmen believe that she hid and took care of Desmond James the moment he escaped.
In Trinidad, opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the procurement process used to obtain the passenger and cargo vessels to outfit the sea bridge is shrouded in controversy and corruption. During the UNC's Monday night forum, Persad-Bissessar said the Prime Minister must disclose the names of the real owners of one of the vessels. CNC3's Jesse Ramdeo tells us more.
A revelation from opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar that this country will have to wait longer than expected for the arrival of the Ocean Flower 2 passenger vessel.
Ocean Flower 2 was supposed to be in Trinidad when? Tomorrow. Do you know where it is? It is in Alaska.
The vessel was expected to arrive on July 17th. However, because of delays, it's now expected to sail into this country's waters on July 26th, according to officials. Addressing supporters during a meeting at the Tulsa Trace Hindu School on Monday, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said that apart from the passenger vessel being over 20 years old, it was also slow and unsuitable for the inter-island transit. But there were more serious concerns with the vessel that left Persad-Bissessar bewildered. She demanded answers from the Prime Minister and Transport Minister as to who are the owners of the vessel. According to her, checks revealed that the vessel was purchased for US $5.5 million by a company called Bridgman Services Limited days before it was revealed that it was selected as a replacement to the MV Superfast Galicia. However, she claimed that there was no background information on the company.
Who is the owner of this vessel? Well, I am still researching because we can find no trace of Bridgman Trinidad LP. Up to this evening, Raiden from my office ran a search. And up to this evening, we cannot find any company documents here. The company, I don't know when it was formed. I don't know where it exists. And I don't know who the owners are. But we will continue to search. And clearly, we will have to ask questions. Who are the real owners of Bridgman Trinidad Limited?
Persad-Bissessar questioned the arrangements which led to the deal being finalized.
Why the Bridgman Services of Vancouver, Canada, who are the owners and operators of Ocean Flower 2, why were they allowed to have private meetings with the chairman and the board of management of the Port Authority in May and June of this year? Could they tell us why this company's representatives were given open access to the port, while other business people based right here in Trinidad and Tobago had made proposals which were turned down?
She said according to her calculations, the mystery owners of the vessel will make back the money they paid for it even before its lease with the government expires. She described the entire scenario as fishy. Persad-Bissessar added that the numbers simply does not add up.
The Galicia, bottom line, TT 112,000 per day. That was one boat doing boat jobs. Ocean Flower, TT $147,000 per day. Carbo Star $186,000 per day. A total of $333,000 per day.
U.S. President Donald Trump is warning Venezuela of economic actions if President Nicolas Maduro delivers on his bid to rewrite the constitution. He's calling the Venezuelan president a bad leader who dreams of being a dictator.
The Venezuelan opposition is now calling for a 24-hour strike on Thursday to increase pressure on President Nicolás Maduro. They're also calling for the formation of an alternative national unity government, although it's not clear if they intend for this government to run the country parallel to the current administration. These actions were announced after more than 98% of people voted Sunday to reject Maduro's plan to rewrite the constitution in a non-binding referendum. More than 7 million people participated, according to the opposition. The White House weighed in on the landslide victory Monday, urging free and fair elections. Spokesman Sean Spicer condemned the increasingly volatile situation in the South American country.
We congratulate the Venezuelan people for the huge turnout in the referendum yesterday and the unmistakable statement that they made, that they delivered to their government. We condemn the violence inflicted by government thugs against innocent voters and efforts by the government to erode democracy in Venezuela.
Meanwhile, President Maduro called the referendum illegal. He says he will still go ahead with a July 30 vote to pick a special assembly to rewrite the current constitution. Nearly 100 Venezuelans have died in more than 3 months of violent anti-government protests.
We'll give you a peek into the world of sports in just a moment, but before we get to that, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Before the arrival of a hurricane, ensure that you have the contact numbers and addresses of your service providers. For example, carpenters, masons, electricians, and plumbers. Cooperators General Insurance, helping you to be prepared this hurricane season.